The Cincinnati Bengals cut loose defensive end Jordan Willis on Tuesday to make room for free agent linebacker LaRoy Reynolds. We'll talk about this next on New Stripe City. The Bengals have finally signed a fifth linebacker, and it looks like they decided to move on from Jordan Willis. Willis just has never lived up to the billing. He had the makings of a guy that could potentially be a steal. He was drafted with Carl Lawson. Carl Lawson has extremely outplayed him, was inactive last Sunday, and given the performance that the defensive line had, the emergence of Sam Hubbard, Carl Lawson's still not emerging yet, Carlos Dunlap, there was no need to keep this guy around. He's really just been a guy that hasn't been able to find his place in the league. And, the four defensive ends were playing well in Seattle when he was inactive. So there really wasn't a need to really keep him. So Reynolds has a little bit of spot starting experience. He made some big plays in preseason. But I think another thing that goes into this is that the last team that he was with was the San Francisco 49ers. So I think that there's an intel perspective here that LaRoy could possibly provide some of that intel for him. He could let them know what the 49ers are looking like from a scheme standpoint. These are things that Zach Taylor can use to his advantage when it comes to finding out some intel about them. Now, it looks like he also played for the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Atlanta Falcons, the 49ers, as mentioned. It looks like he also played for the Chicago Bears. The longest stint that he had, it looks like, was in Jacksonville, where he was there for 2 years. He's got a total of 97 tackles, so not a guy that's going to be a huge impact guy. Spent some time on the offseason roster, but he's made active rosters before, so it'll be interesting to see what this guy can do. You look at a guy similar to B.W. Webb, who got some spot starting duty himself. Hopefully he can be that. Maybe he can be a guy that they can get the more out of. But I think your baseline and your actuality for this guy is that he'll be a special teams player and probably won't see the field on Sundays. Will probably be inactive. But I think the biggest contribution that he has is providing the Bengals with that intel of what the 49ers could come out with. So it looks like he was released in the final cuts before the season. So, like I said, not a guy that's going to be a huge impact or going to be a guy that turn around that linebacker locker room, but at least the Bengals are making a move. I think the bigger storyline is the fact that they have finally moved on from Jordan Willis. So a lot of these guys that were drafted in the Marvin Lewis era don't seem to be lasting too long in this Zach Taylor era, at least the guys that are questionable. So an interesting move here, and we'll see what happens going forward. But as usual, I'll leave you with a who day, all day, every day, and especially on Sunday.